Hey YouTube, and welcome to the first episode of The Rundown. As you can see, this episode is about baby mamas. Hopefully a lot of you guys will be open-minded and listen to what's going on. So the reason I did this episode is because on Thursday I will be going to court regarding the custody of my son, just to get joint custody and whatnot. I have to tell you that being a baby daddy is one of the most stressful things I have ever had in my life, and I will make sure this never happens again. I love my son with all my heart, but all this drama that came along with it can kick rocks. And baby mamas or women who have children out of wedlock with a man, you guys really need to learn to differentiate between your relationship with the father and your child's relationship with the father. They are two different, completely separate relationships, and you need to learn to understand that. Not all women are like this, though, because I can name 4 or 5 off the top of my head that I know personally that have no trouble whatsoever in differentiating between the relationship that they share with their child's father and with the relationship that the child shares with their father. But it's worrisome because the majority don't. And a man should never have to fight to see their child. Point blank period. At all. Just because he doesn't like you, just because you guys don't get along, do not mean that you have to make it hell for that man to see his child. And that's just how it is. And the way you guys get on these social networks and try to degrade your baby daddy and do all of this nonsense, it just makes you look like an attention whore, and it really makes you look ignorant. And the same can go for baby daddies too. Because at the end of the day, you really can't talk shit about each other because you have a kid together. So obviously something was going on. You can't say they ain't shit, da 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 da. Well, that ain't shit nigga got you knocked up. That ain't shit woman got pregnant by you. So, hey, lose, right? At the end, you can't really talk shit about it. I've learned that. I can't talk shit about my baby mama at all, or the mother of my child at all, because the simple fact of the matter, she has my child. She probably ain't gonna feel the same when it comes to talking shit about me, but that's the subject for another matter. But, the example that I can really talk about is that I was on Twitter one day, a couple weeks ago, and I saw this girl, and she did this on the regular. And she would get on Twitter and she would tweet her baby daddy, call him all type of bitches, hoes, all type of shit, just to show off in front of her friends. And then would get on Twitter and cause a scene talking about, you can't see your child if you gonna move on in your life. That's where you need to stop right there. How are you gonna deny a man the right to see his child because he wants to move on with his life? Don't make sense, right? But you can move on with yours. You can have the child around all your different new niggas and everything, but the man can't have his child around his new girlfriend or whatever it may be to him. Yeah, that needs to cut it out. Simple as that. Honestly, the child shouldn't be around anybody unless it's going to be somebody who's going to be long term, and that's just real shit. You don't want your child to be looking at you and thinking that it's normal for people to be coming in and out of his life and to just be fine with that and to grow up. Plus, you don't want all these weird, why would you want all these people around your child that you barely know yourself and you're bringing them around your child? Bad habits could rub off. Who knows what goes on today with how sick people are? And, a lot of this needs to be taken into account. And hopefully, from watching this video, a couple of you will change your mind frame on it. Because, at the end of the day, ain't nobody perfect. Whatever caused y'all not to work, whether it was all his fault, whether it was mutually both of you guys' fault, I don't know. I only know about my situation. But at the end of the day, why harm your child and deny them the right to know that other half? Because from my own personal experience, I didn't find out who my real dad was until I was 22, and it wasn't his fault. It was because of my mom, and she had her situation when she was young. Something went on. I don't know because I wasn't there. I was just made that night, so I really don't know. But at the end of the day, I didn't meet my dad till I was 22, and that was a major impact on my life. Because even though I had a father figure who was my grandpa, who raised me to be a great man, until I met my biological father, it really felt like I didn't know who I was. And then when I met him, a lot of things started to click. And you know, that's just a word of advice to women who try to keep their children away from men because y'all don't get along, or you think you're doing it out of spite to hurt him. You shouldn't do that, because you may be hurting him, but you're also hurting your child. And if you love your child the way you say you do, you wouldn't do shit like that. It's simple as that. It all comes down to maturity and how you handle everything. It's time to grow up. Everything in life don't happen the way you want it to happen. But I've talked enough. I'm finna get back to work, so just drop this little tidbit of information. Like I said, this is the first episode of the Rundown series. I'm gonna try to keep it going. Leave me some comments. I'll make some video replies to them. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch y'all later.